Bekiim Halacha 3, day 77. Yeah, day 77. Okay, we are on page 164, Siman 17. We're talking about now who's obligated in the mitzvah of tzitzit, and yesterday we spoke about a blind man. Okay, so it says over here as follows. Women are exempt from the mitzvah of tzitzit since it's the mitzvah that does not apply at all times. It's a mitzvah to say shazman grama, so obviously women are exempt from tzitzit. If a woman does wear a garment with tzitzit attached to it, she may not say the beracha, because obviously since it's the mitzvah to say shazman grama, she's not allowed to do a beracha. Furthermore, it's forbidden for a woman to wear a garment with tzitzit attached, even if she does not say the beracha, since it displays haughtiness on her part. Some poskim added that any garment with tzitzit attached to it automatically is considered a male garment, and therefore a woman cannot wear it. In our times, it is even more important for a woman to refrain from this practice, since it's identified with the reform movement. Okay, so let's look at the footnote. Okay, 224, the mitzvah tzitzit. So the mitzvah tzitzit is a time limited since there's no mitzvah at nighttime, as explained right later on in Siman 18. Therefore, women are exempt from all mitzvot to say shazman grama, seduced from the general rule through a number of steps. First of all, the Torah teaches that only men are obligated in the mitzvot of the Torah. It says, to your sons and not to your daughters. Since the next pasuk is talking about the mitzvah of tefillin, it's connected to Torah study. This teaches the women are exempt from the mitzvah of tefillin. The mitzvah of tefillin in turn is connected to all the Torah's mitzvot. Since the Torah tells us, so therefore that everything is going to be on your lips. So too, women are exempt from all time-limited mitzvah of tefillin, and therefore they are exempt from all mitzvot as well. Meaning, right now in this footnote, he just explained to you why is it that women are exempt from mitzvah taseh shazman grama. Just like he says, it's written, your boys, and then it comes that it says that the next pasuk is tefillin, and tefillin is talking about leman tiyeh Torat Hashem beficha. Torat Hashem is compared to all the mitzvot of tefillin. So therefore, what happens is, obviously, what we're talking about is there's a connection between tefillin and the mitzvot, and therefore, just like a woman is exempt from tefillin, she's going to be exempt from mitzvot, and therefore, any time, any mitzvah which is mitzvah taseh shazman grama, women are going to be exempt. 225. The Arba Turim. Yeah, the Arba Turim comes and he says like this. We're talking about now that if a woman does wear it, she's not allowed to make a bracha. So the Tur quotes Rambam that if a woman comes and she wears a talit with tzitzit, she may not say the bracha, since the general rule is that a woman, right, may not make a bracha for anything which she is exempt from. So if she's exempt from mitzvah, she can't come and start making a bracha on it, right? So he says, Rabbi Tam ruled, right, that even though a woman are exempt from certain mitzvot, they may say a bracha if they wanted to. Sephardic Jews definitely followed the Rambam's ruling. The Rishon LeZion dealt with this at great length in Yabia Omer, and we have to follow the Shita of the Shulchan Aruch and the Rambam, and therefore women cannot make a bracha, and that's why women do not make a bracha on Sukkah Velulav. Right? Why? No, well, technically speaking, mitzad halacha, they would be permitted to wear tzitzit if they wanted to. They would have been permitted. Nowadays, no. There's going to be two reasons why. We're going to explain now. Yes, because they pass like the Ramah. The Ramah brings down like Rabbeinu Tam that they're allowed to make a bracha on any type of mitzvah shazman grama. We go like the Shulchan Aruch, which the Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to. Which one? They're allowed to. Yes, they're allowed to. Yeah, Ashkenazim. Okay, then it says like this. Curiously, right, the Arba Turim rule that Ashkenazic women may not recite the bracha of the mitzvot of tzitzit. The Bach pointed out this seems to contradict the ruling in Siman 589 that Ashkenaz may recite a bracha on shofar. He reconciled this, explaining the long-standing custom is for women to fulfill the mitzvah of shofar, and therefore Ashkenazim could make the bracha on that. I heard once from Rabbi Benaim that was also minhag of Morocco. That means they wouldn't make a bracha on lulav and etrog and other things, but shofar was something special. The shofar, all women, even though they're not obligated in shofar, they used to keep it, and therefore that's why they were going to do this. Therefore, we allow them to continue this tradition. It's quite unusual, however, for a woman to perform the mitzvah of tzitzit. There's no tradition for women to perform it, and only exceptional women, like Michal, the daughter of Shaul, who fulfilled the mitzvah even of tefillin, right, as related in Masechet Eruvin, and therefore she also fulfilled the mitzvah of tzitzit. Therefore, if a woman asks, can she perform it or not, obviously without a bracha. The Ratzot HaChaim offered another reconciliation with these two halachot, actually explained that even men are not obligated in the mitzvah of tzitzit. A man who chooses to do so, he's just obligating himself in the mitzvah. Therefore, women, which is a much lighter connection, for sure she does not make a bracha on such a thing. Fine. Now, what about halacha to do with, can women nowadays come and make the bracha? So it says over here, the Levush explained that women must not wear talit, since it's an obligation for men only. And as such, it's strictly a male garment. By the way, you should know, Yonotam and Oziel, right, on the Torah, when it says lo yechli gever al isha velo tiyeh simlat isha gever, which means that a person is not allowed to wear a woman's clothing, a man's not allowed to wear a woman's clothing, a woman's not allowed to wear a man's clothing. There, one of the shitot is the Unklus and others. They say that it's talking about weapons. That's why a woman is not allowed to wear weapons. Meaning, a woman is not supposed to be at war, so she's not allowed to have weapons, right? An isur, right? He's learning that's a isur doraita. That's the way that he's learning the pasuk, right? Not physical, right, but actual weapons. Because the weaponry kli zayin, that's the male's right clothing. By the way, that's the reason also why you're allowed to get married to Ammonit and Moavit, and that's why we have Melech HaMashiach. Melech HaMashiach comes from Ruth, right? Boaz, and he already accepted it from the Bedin of Shemuel, right, Ramati, that they already accepted it, what? That you're allowed to have Moavit velo Moavi, Ammonit velo Ammoni. Why? Something happened. Something happened to the computer. There you go. Yeah. So he comes and he says that the reason why is because what was the reason why Ammonim and Moavim they're not allowed to come into the Kahal? Because it says, they didn't come out to greet you with men and water. So the only tana is that women do not go out. Women stay at home. So because of that, the decree against was only against the men and not against the women. If you're going to have now that the women go out, now you have a problem. Because I mean, if women go out, so then you don't have Ammonit velo Moavit, and therefore it comes out that you're not allowed to have Melech HaMashiach. You're not allowed to have nothing. You understand? So it's very, right, this is the concept. So one more time. Unklus comes and he learns that when it says, there it's talking about klezayin. We're talking about weapons. You know, Oziel comes and he learns that it's talking about tzitzit and tefillin. So he's learning that the pshat is that a woman's not allowed to wear tzitzit and tefillin. Here the levush comes, right? The levush comes and he says that the Torah forbids wearing a man's garments for men, right, for the women, and vice versa. Although Michal, the daughter of Shul, wore tefillin, her garments were definitely distinctly those of a princess, and therefore can never be mistaken for those of a man. The garments worn by ordinary women are not distinct female garments, and therefore if tzitzit is going to be attached to it, it looks like a man's garments. So the Arabah took issue with the levush, especially the woman wearing a tali violates prohibition of lo kli geved, since prohibition applies only to when woman wears the garment to adorn herself. Right? He says here it's not to adorn herself. The Tzotachim, however, pointed out Targum Yonatan. That's why I just quoted to you. Targum Yonatan declaring this prohibition states openly that the Torah forbids a woman from wearing tzitzit or tefillin, since these are strictly men's items. This coincides with the Targum Yonatan and Oziel on Shofetim also, talking about the Yael killed Sisera by driving a spike through his head. The Targum adds that she did not use a sword or a spear, since those weapons are wielded strictly by men, and it is forbidden for women to use. Meaning, even the weapon that she used to kill Sisera was a weapon that was also could have been used by women, not a man's. That means that's what he says here. Incredible. She didn't use a sword or a spear. What did she use? A spike. Because a spike, it's not a man's weapon. A sword, only men use. A spear, only men use. So she didn't use that. She used specifically something which we could use from here. Male garments are forbidden for women, even if they are not worn as adornments. The response to Rav Be'alim, the Ben Ish Chai, stated that the rule is to protest and prevent women from performing the mitzvot of tefillin, since such behavior altogether is not feminine. Although Michal, the daughter of Shul, did do it, right, and the Torah scholars did not protest, the mitzvah tzitzit is different, since it involves wearing a garment that is clearly a man's attire. Okay, see more about the subject. Halacha Brura, Yelkud Yosef also added that even if some of the poskim technically permit women to do it, they would agree that in our times, for sure, it's prohibited to do it, because that's the reform movement, and it's a struggle against the Torah Judaism. Furthermore, the Rav Be'alim declared that it is incorrect according to the Kabbalah for women to do it. So anyway, mitzvah the Kabbalah, women should not wear, right, tzitzit anyway, but that's mitzvah the Kabbalah. But even without the Kabbalah, you have the entire concept that women in general should not wear it nowadays because of the concept of, right, of the representing of the reform. You have to